Hello, this is Steven and yes, we're back with another Batman 66 episode review, and today we'll be reviewing the episode Caught in the Spider's Den. Sadly, the last time we'll be seeing Black Widow. So without further ado, let's hop into the review. When we last left off Batman and Robin, they were trapped in essentially a giant spider web with spiders crawling up them prepared to eat him. Opening credits, and we're back to where they are. Batman then uses a device on his utility belt to somehow electrify the web, not killing him, Batman and Robin, but sadly killing the spiders. It's funny when you see these spiders, as it's clear that they're fake, on string, but it is what it is. Once they get out of the web, they then follow where Black Widow and her men are, and we find them at a table dividing up all the money. Just as they're about to apprehend her, she then uses her device again to get Batman and Robin under their spell. However, it only works on Batman because the device that they said they are using to prevent them from being put under mind control only works on Batman purely because of Robin's thing short-circuited, and Black Widow has somehow reversed the gadget to pretty much turn those into slaves purely based on people have that device. With that, Robin is then taken captured, and Black Widow has now Batman under her power. She then plans to use Batman and the Batmobile to help pull off another bank heist. They then bring out a dummy to dress up as Batman, and she dresses up as Robin. Thanks to Batman's help and how to plan a heist, she then hops in the Batmobile and prepares to drive off to rob this bank. However, we do have a scene before this where bank manager calls up Gordon telling him about Batman's called up for this to leave a sack of money. Gordon naturally assumes that it's a trap set for Black Widow and tells him to proceed to go on with it. But then he gets the shock of a lifetime when Batman and Robin have stolen the money. He then orders that for them to be apprehended immediately, in which a police officer who sees the Batmobile drive by pulls it over and orders them to surrender. However, Robin, who was actually Black Widow, drives the Batmobile away, and the policemen end up shooting Batman several times. And he believes he is shot, Batman. Just as that's happening, we then cut back to Batman and Robin at Black Widow's hideout, where Robin, who once all the goons have left, gets himself untied and goes to Batman and tells him to sing. Whilst he's singing, he uses this sonic device to recircuit Batman's brain to go back to normal. And as a result, they then plan a counter trap to capture Black Widow, so Robin pretends to be tied up. We then cut to Gordon back in his office, where he realizes that though they killed Batman, Robin's still on the loose, and so they decide to call up on the Batphone to ask Robin to come in. They then call up, and of course Alfred comes to the phone, and clearly Alfred clears everything up, such as the hideout where they went to, and realize everything that's happened. Batman and Chief O'Hara realize the situation, that it clearly wasn't Batman, and get all their men they could to go to this hideout. We then cut back to Black Widow's hideout, where she and her men come in to divide the money. But Batman reveals she's no longer under her power, and Robin is no longer tied up, and a bat fight breaks out. With Batman winning victorious, but also using the circuit device on Black Widow to essentially turn her, device against her. And just as that happened, Gordon, O'Hara, and all the men come in and end up arresting Black Widow's goons. We end the episode at Gotham State Penitentiary, where Batman is using this gadget to decriminalize Black Widow and her gang. And sadly, at this is the last time we'd see Black Widow, but we will see the Joker in next week's episode. The cast here is rather are kind of getting a little bit boring and stale right now. Gordon O'Hara is still bumbling. It's fun, but I really feel it's starting to get a little bit of a drag. Same with Batman and Robin. Alfred pretty much saved everyone today. When they called him up, he pretty much straightened everyone out of what could have possibly gone wrong. And to be honest, that's kind of the same with and that's first off, it's great for Alfred to have more role in the story, and it kind of also goes to show that just how bland and honestly unimaginative the series is becoming. Black Widow. My thoughts is kind of the same with Marsha. I don't mind the concept. I don't mind the idea of an old lady of being this criminal mastermind, and her obsession with spiders and her unique gadgets are fine. And I do like how these episodes do give off a creepy feel with her being underground and all that. Now, Black Widow is a character just like Marsha, was created specifically for the show. But however, her name does remind, just like Sandman, the name does echo Marvel because, well, Black Widow and the Sandman are characters from the Marvel comics. However, they are in the show they are drastically different. I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind if she came back, but if they did, it should have been focused more on the spider gimmick because she is Black Widow, and less of being this woman who has these abilities, who has these special gadgets to help rob banks. In fact, I must admit, her plot is arguably the weakest in the series. Basically, she's back in town, she started robbing banks. There's no real grand plan. And this is not, and even though I find this character to be rather boring, I can't deny Bankhead is giving her all for this role. And I found out that this was literally her last role, as I think a few weeks later, after these episodes aired, Miss Tallulah Bankhead sadly passed away. And it's really sad when you hear stories like this. And Adam West, she was a delight to work with, but I was always curious if she was actually high or on drugs when on set. I'm not trying to show the story is true, but it is an interesting story. Caught in the Spider's Den is another average, fun, but still entertainable episode. It also does suffer being a bit boring and repetitive. But however, I believe you can get enjoyment out of it, even though this villain may not be as perfect or everyone's top 10 favorite. I can't deny just how enjoyable or how much of an effort she is really putting into this role. There we have it, Caught in the Spider's Den. Join us next time when the Joker returns. So until then, tune in for the next Steven Hour, the same Steven channel. Ladies and gentlemen, so long for now.